Okay, ma'am. Since his theory is fully metaphysical, that is, his theory of ideas is entirely metaphysical.
Yes.
And when we attribute this theory to society, because Plato is actually doing his moulding an individual, his moulding an ethical, to be ethical, the individual should be ethical for an ethical society, but it is totally idealistic. So, how can an idealistic concept be applied in a society? Do we have again we have criticism towards this theory, because it is a full fledged one.
You are right. Plato, being an idealist philosopher, thinks of the ideal situation only. The typical example is concept of ideal state. He never wants to realize it. He wants to put it as an ideal. Now, the same comment has been applied to the concept of justice developed by Plato. Even though it is a very valuable, very meaningful concept, because it is a social concept, it is not a private, it is a public concept, a concept which guides and controls the social life of human being, very valuable in the history of human thought. But at the same time, the way in which Plato has developed it and advocated it, that has been subjected to a lot of doubts and criticisms. A lot of doubts have been raised on that, whether how can we apply it, how can we accept it like that. For example, it has been said that Plato's theory of justice is completely idealistic in character, but this is in tune with his general philosophy. He is an idealistic thinker, and therefore, his concept of justice is also an idealistic one. And then it is said that there is no legal binding for that, because Plato has developed it on the basis of morality. So, legally speaking, concept of justice has no validity. That is pointed out to be one of the drawbacks of the concept of justice of Plato. Then if you go look at it again, it seems that Plato has been guided by the principle one man, one work. So, he says that ruler has one work, the farmer has got another work, no interference, no exchange of work like that. So, this it is doubtful how far
it is
this
possible.
is working or possible. Now, again it is said that it gives monopoly to the guardian class of people, monopoly of power, because one man, one power means one class of people has been allotted one class of work and you are expected to do that work only. So, therefore, it may lead to what is called a monopoly of power. So, this also has been pointed out. Then the theory of communism of Plato ignores the essentials of human psychology and human nature. So, from the psychological point of view, it has been pointed out that the theory of communism advocated by Plato. So, Plato's idealism has been dubbed as communistic philosophy, and it ignores the human nature or human feelings are not taken into consideration, and that is visible from ruling class, this total absence of feelings and emotions and so on. Now, again it is said that Plato's theory is static, it is motionless, because it has no movement at all. It is once and for all it has been stated. Nobody can add or distract anything from that.
Everything is fixed.
Yes, it allows that is what it allows a person a particular position in life and condemns him for his entire life. He has to be born as a farmer, he has to live as a farmer, he has to die as a farmer, for example. So, that is it is a motionless principle, it has been said. Then sometimes there is a doubt has been put forward that this may cause class war. So, because of this because of its lack of flexibility or lack of movement, no, thinkers in later times doubt that this may rise to or give way to what is called a class war. One class of people can revolt against other class of people. And again we can say that state, but not on the development of the individual. See, always Plato by this it is a social ideal, justice is a social ideal. Therefore, the emphasis on society, the state. Therefore, critics comment that the individual is not taken into consideration.
The individual always remains the same.
Yes. Individual is given a subordinate status here. Primary status is given to the state or the society, and that is also taken as a negative point to the concept of justice. So, one of the criticisms has been raised by a thinker called George Grote. Now, what he says is that Plato's concept of the guardian class is very strict. So, in fact, Plato has denied the possibility of a life further. What he says is, he confined the life of guardian class so much so that they cannot enjoy the life or happiness at all, because they have to be confined to their duty of a contemplative life, a life of a scholar, teaching and educating, and also working for the welfare of the society. Now, they are denied of any personal life or any pleasures of life. So, this point has been pointed out by George Grote when he says that Plato's theory of justice is somewhat wrong in treating the ruling class of people. So, these are the major points, negative points that are raised against the concept of justice developed by Plato.
Mainly his ethical theory.
His ethical theory of justice.
Okay.